Cwcville Island, with a land area of only 5,000 blocks. This island is home to the most amount of players on the server. It is also the site of the most tragedy that has occurred on this world. Founded long before Farloom or Veridia, the city of Cwcville stands as the world's oldest large-scale settlement, having had construction done on it by a majority of the players of the world. Before it came under the rule of the Goblin Lord, Gablin, Cwcville was ruled by the current Aegean dictator, Mr. Knobloch. While on a vacation trip around the day 5000, the Goblin Lord annexed the city from Knobloch, which spurred the Aegean migration as discussed in our previous episode. However, after taking Cwcville, the Goblin Lord went on leave, resulting in the city falling under the supervision of the player Cwcville. Under her leadership, Cwcville was able to regain a footing on the world stage after the Kingdom of Farloom and the exiled Knobloch launched a wither strike against the city in retaliation for the Goblin Lord's annexation. Despite the era of reconstruction in Cwcville bringing a much-needed peace to the island, the Kingdom of Farloom had other plans for the city of Cwcville. Due to the Goblin Lord going on leave, Cwcville had effectively become Cwcville's new dictator. After all, she had been the one to aid the city in its darkest hour, not the supposed true leader Gablin. Around this time, the United Nations building began construction near Spawn Island. This move was a reaction to the Cwcville wither strike, as the UN sought to ensure peace between the nations of the world. Adding to this mission of peace, the UN Security Council was formed, comprising the Kingdom of Farloom, the Aegean Military Junta, the Viridian Republic, and the Kingdom of Agartha. It was supposed to be their job to ensure peace between the world's nations by enforcing the UN Convention laws established at the first UN meeting. However, an agreement made between the Goblin Lord and the Farloom King, Vincenzo, would unknowingly spark the first international crisis the server had seen. Vincenzo had supported the Goblin Lord's takeover of Cwcville, therefore seeing all of Cwcville's actions regarding Cwcville as in service to Gablin. This diplomatic misunderstanding caused the Bamboo Wall crisis. At the time, the bamboo block wall was made up of literal bamboo, causing the glass roof to look like it was being suspended in midair. Vincenzo took issue with this as he personally thought the wall looked unappealing from his massive pyramid. Vincenzo sent an ultimatum to Cwcville to replace the wall with blocks or he would do it for them. Vincenzo further believed that the Cwcville settlement was a part of Farloom and thus didn't expect Cwcville's response. Cwcville declined the offer, solidifying Cwcville's independence as a sovereign state. The Aegean military junta, Farloom's main rival, moved in to support Cwcville's decision. Together, they came up with the slogan of "Bamboo Wall Stand Tall." The Goblin Lord was unaware of the crisis, resulting in Cwcville being the sole voice of Cwcville at this time. Compounding the issue was the latest UN resolution, which rendered any messages using outside sources as non-binding agreements, meaning even if the Goblin Lord sent word to Vince, the legality of any agreement wouldn't validate Farloom's proposals. As tensions rose between two of the world's great powers, a settlement was made to try and come up with an equal solution for both parties. Veridian consul Mr. Gummy was sent to mediate the discussions. The fate of Cwcville's future was to be decided in the Cwcville Sky Dome. It was hoped that a solution could be found quickly as Cwcville and Vince were close friends. The first day of discussions began in bad faith, as Aegean dictator Knobloch tried to harm Vince throughout the meeting. There was also no intent to come to an equal agreement on Knobloch's or Cwcville's side. Vince proposed that Cwcville could simply just build supports to help prop up the glass cover, and Cwcville requested that the cobblestone bridge that extended from the pyramid be removed. Both parties agreed, and Cwcville was given 10 days to construct the supports, and Vince 10 days to remove the bridge. The crisis should have ended there, but Vince decided to speak to the Goblin Lord about the resulting treaty, and Gablin proceeded to ask Vince to build a complete wall around Cwcville. Using this as a justification, Vince began to construct the modern bamboo wall. Seeing how this violated the agreement, Knobloch began to remove the wall wherever Vince placed it down. After a minor skirmish, both parties seemed to back down. However, Mr. Knobloch and Cwcville had no intentions to let the wall be complete. On the night of October 24th, 2025, Knobloch and Cwcville raided the Kingdom of Farloom's explosive storage and loaded Cwcville with over 100 cubic meters of TNT. What resulted is the biggest tragedy the server has ever seen, as nearly every Cwcville villager lost their life that day, and the friendship between Vince and Cwcville was severely damaged. The fallout of the destruction ended in the server being shut down, as Cwcville was the one keeping it running. And seeing that they had lost ownership of Cwcville, after doing almost all of the work to fix it and make it a better place, decided to leave the server. The treaty, signed that day, the Sonichu Treaty, stands as a reminder of that horrible day. Cwcville was passed over as a server host, and once the world was converted to the Java version, the honor of hosting the server fell to one of the leaders of the Taiju Chao. While being a political win for the Kingdom of Farloom, to achieve it, they had to damage their relations with a good friend of theirs. The server shutdown also halted anyone from making progress. Had it not been for a last-minute Java conversion, there might not have been a UVS, Farloom, or Aegea today. Farloom also got its way with the UN, as other messaging platforms, such as Discord, became available means of communicating important deals. The Veridian and Aegean governments still see Farloom's actions that day as a breach of international law, and the ramifications of this breach would have further consequences for Veridia, as even though she had decided to stay neutral, Veridia would end up leaving the UN over another issue involving the UN and Farloom. But that will have to wait until the next episode. I have been Peter Jerry on UVS Today, the Millennium Veridias Time. Thank you for watching.